Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to hire top salespeople if you're an estate planner, financial advisor, and or tax planner. So who is this video for? This is for advisors who are already doing $80,000 to $100,000 a month, at least I want to say 50 to 60, and want to scale up, because at that scale you have figured out what's working, you have figured out who is your ideal audience, and you have a system of the offer that you want to sell and to who you want to sell it to, right? Like, so this is not for beginners. I wouldn't advise beginners to hire salespeople, but if you want to scale up, right? If you want to go to like 200, 300, 400, $500,000 a month and more, you are going to run into bottlenecks, right? Like, so if you have like maybe one salesperson or you are the only one selling, you're going to definitely run into a bottleneck if you want to scale that further, right? Because if you want to scale to $200,000 plus a month, you will need to take an incredible amount of volume of sales, especially once you talk cold traffic. So one of our clients, he's doing up to $650,000 a month. They have 8 advisors taking 10 to 20 sales calls a week, right? So that's a lot of sales calls. 80 to 160 calls per week. So at the best time, like 500 calls a month. So, and if you really want to win, right, like you need to attract the best salespeople. So this is going to be a video on how to attract the best salespeople, how to build a system around that, and how to hire talent, right? So what do professional salespeople who can actually close, who are really good at sales, look for in a business? So first of all, it's going to be a working system. And this is again where I'm talking about the $80,000 to $100,000 a month. You want to have a working system. You will want to know who your ideal client is, like where to find them. You want to have a system that will supply them with highly qualified, preferably pre-sold leads, right? Like, quick plug here, if you want a system like that, that provides your salespeople with highly qualified pre-sold leads for your estate planning service, financial advisory, and or tax planning, click the link below and schedule a call with us. And you shouldn't be, if you haven't cracked the code, right? Like, if you don't have a system like that, you won't be able to attract the top talent, right? Like, you want to have a system that brings in the highly pre-qualified leads and that converts preferably at 20% plus, right? On that cold traffic, because then you can just plug and play people into that and just dial that system up, and you can go as high as, $500,000, $1 million a month, right? Like, once you have that system and the scripts dialed in, you can just plug people into the system. You can keep on hiring and keep on spending money on advertising and kind of move both at the same time. So let me ask you this. Do you have a system like that in place? Like, again, if you want a system like that, if you need help with it, feel free to click the link below or watch any of my other videos. I help you bring those I help you educate on how to do that. Then compensation, right? Like, this is a big misconception. Top sales talent will want to make at least $20,000 a month. A lot of people think like, yeah, top salespeople, they're gonna make like 10,000 to maybe 20,000. No, it starts at 20,000. Like if you want somebody who can really, get you 30% closed on cold traffic, one call close, you want those A players, and they don't want to move if they don't make like 20 to 30 to 40 to $50,000 a month, right? Like, one of our clients, the best salesperson right now, made about $30,000 a month, right? So, that's obviously something that will attract good people, right? You will not attract top sales talent if you propose a sales position at like $5,000 a month. 15, you're starting the conversation, but that's where you want to start the conversation. You want to have a compensation plan for them in place to make at least $20,000 a month, right? Like, so again, ask yourself, do you have a plan in place to pay somebody $20,000? And it's okay if not, right? Like, you will need to develop the talent, right? Like, you will need to develop talent. You will need to hire lower, but train them more, right? Or you will need to create that system. And then number 3, you want ongoing training, right? We recently had a situation where one of our closers from a client tripled his close rate, right? That means he's gonna make 3 times more money. So you wanna invest in your people. You wanna provide them with training material so that they can make more money and make you more money and make more money for themselves, right? So that's a perfect way to do that. Like, don't shy away of spending money, spending time, building something that trains them, that makes them better. And in my opinion, the training will need to include sales training as well as the training on your offer. For example, estate planning training, right? Like, for example, estate planning is something where you need to build a sales training library on that topic alone, because that's not going to be a very like easy to explain offer, right? So you need to build a digital library, a digital course for your people to go through so that they can actually understand the topic, right? So now, again, ask yourself, do you have a training like that in place? And again, we help our clients do that. So if you want help with that, feel free to schedule by clicking the link below. So yeah, you need like good compensation, good system of leads and marketing, and then also a good training system so that you can ramp people through, right? Like if you're in scaling mode, you want to hire a closer basically every 2 weeks, right? Like that's when you need a new closer. So where do you find top salespeople, right? Obviously, we want to give value in this video. So the same way you're looking for prospects, you want to be looking for salespeople. You will need to, do outbound, and you will need to do advertising, right? Or warm leads, right? Like the warmest leads are going to come from your social media network. I say this is why it's so important to build a following on platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You will, if you post about estate planning, if you post about your results, if you post about stuff like that, you will attract people who are naturally going to be interested in that offer. And then you can just whip up a couple social media posts, a couple videos about if somebody's interested in closing for you, right? Then second is Facebook groups. You will want to search something like high ticket closers, right? Like you have, for example, job opportunities. There's a bunch of these groups, right? You can join all of them and post a job post. I have a post right here where we go through in a second. But here you want to tailor the message to your needs, right? Like you might want to write something like no foreigners if you want to hire exclusively from the US and stuff like that. And you also don't want to lead with compensation here, because most of the time people read the post until they know, hey, this is for you. And you don't want to have people who come just for the money, right? Like you actually want to describe what the job role is, what they're going to be expected to do, and then talk about compensation. The same thing, advertising on platforms, right? Like Indeed, LinkedIn, any other job platforms, as well as Facebook. So these are the 3 ways you can do it, right? Then obviously job posts can look something like that. Top closer for estate planning service. We're leading estate planning service, offering premium plans, blah, 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 right? Here you want to describe what they've been doing, follow up with warm leads, nurture them. That's important. Value different follow up, trust and confidence, CRM tools, personalized selfie videos. We've done this and we've talked about this in another video. I'm going to link it on top. Like this hugely boosts the sales and close rate. Then what's in it for them, commission, and what you're looking for, right? And then this is kind of like in the next point, how you sift through the noise. If somebody applies for you, you want to send them preferably a VSL, right? Like a video where they can actually see if this is a good fit for them. And then you want to have them send a 1-minute selfie video, right? Like let's go through that in a little bit more detail. How do you sift through the noise? How do you pre-screen people, right? Because like if you post on these platforms, if you run a job post, you're going to get hundreds of applicants, which is good. But you want to have a system of actually filtering through the noise, because a lot of people are not going to be very useful here. It's probably going to be 20%, 20 to 30% who are going to be good prospects, right? So the same way you want to pre-screen prospects for your service to work with you, you also want to do it for salespeople. So here's the best way we found this to work, right? Like you want to have a hiring VSL, you want to have a video. This is basically where you showcase what your business does, the opportunity of working with you, and the compensation plan, etc. Right? You want to highlight a case study from other salespeople, right? You want to actually see like, hey, this is me, or yourself could be, right? Like last month I made about 30 grand with selling this service, right? Like this is how I work, this is what I do every day. Kind of like really describe it in a little bit more detail, and then you don't have to describe it every time to a prospect, right? Like, and this is the first thing that you want to. This is the first thing that you want to have people do, because you can actually track who watches your video or not, right? You can maybe put like a tracking software on it. Obviously, that's very easily done with Go High Level. And then some people are not going to watch that video. And these are obviously first drop off here. Those are not the right fit. And then you want them to have you send a 1-minute video, right? Like, why do we say a 1-minute video? Because if you have like 60 applicants, you're going to spend an hour already watching those videos. And you don't want a 10-minute video. And also the thing is, like, everybody who sends a video that's way longer than 1 minute obviously didn't understand the task. They're not going to be able to follow simple instructions now. They won't be able to do later, right? Like, so you really want to have a funnel, a system of getting new talent in. And then you will watch that video and you can make a good judgment on who's a good fit or who is not, right? Like in 15 seconds, first impressions, go by gut feeling. You're gonna be able to get those things in, right? And then you want to do a two-step process. So let's say you screen, you get 100 applicants, 20 of them seem like good prospects. Then you want to send them the material that is required for your expertise, right? Like, hey, this is the pre-training, and don't be shy here, right? Like, I mean, nobody's going to steal your idea, nobody's going to steal your system. It takes so much work to implement a system. Send them the material that is required, and then you want to do a screening call, right? Like, this is where most people actually just do an interview. You don't want to do an interview. I don't think there's a lot of purpose here. You want to actually do a role play with them. So basically ask them, hey, this is the situation. This is what you need to train for. And then you want to role play with them. Like say like, hey, how would you sell me a trust? Here's my objection. Try to do some objection handling. And you can do this in half an hour. You can test, hey, is this person actually, can they think on their feet? Can they prepare? Can they internalize the material? And then they will try to close you. Have them try to close you. If you feel this is a good fit, then you have a good closer, right? Like, so this is a very straightforward system. First of all, hiring VSL. Then you want to have the 1 minute video, right? Like, and then you want to text back and forth, coordinate a meeting, and then you want to have a role play with them. Or you could invite multiple people on a call and have them role play, but I like to have it one-on-one and role play with people. So yeah, this is how you hire top salespeople for your estate planning, financial advisory, and tax planning firm, or as a matter of fact, for every other business as well, right? Obviously, there's some nuance on technical details that you will need to train people on. If you want to have that system done for you, right? If you want us to plug salespeople into your organization, build a marketing system and everything done for you, feel free to click the link below. And otherwise, we'll see each other in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.